your scratch?
Right here.
On your foot? Or on your ankle? Or on your leg? How did you get scratched?
I went at the park and I scratched it right here.
Oh. Hi friends, my name is Katie. Welcome back to my channel, Life Between Words. It's been a couple weeks and it feels a little weird being in front of the camera again. I've been really wanting to make videos, but I have not been able to get up the motivation to get out my camera. But mostly I haven't had the motivation to, do things like shower and put makeup on. I feel like in order to do a booktube video, there's this pressure to put makeup on and make myself camera ready. And I know that that's not true. I don't know why I feel like I need to put makeup on. Maybe I've been watching too many beauty YouTube videos recently. Anyway, I am still in somewhat of a reading slump. I did read some books last month, but I didn't really feel like I'd read enough books to warrant a wrap-up. Hopefully, I will continue to climb my way out of that reading slump, and I will have a reading wrap-up in October for July, August, and September. Today we're going to talk about my 5-star reading predictions. I have seen this video going around so much on YouTube. I think Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings is the first person I saw do this, and then I feel like everyone else is doing it. And I thought I would chip in with my own 5-star predictions. So I have a pile of 6 books here. I wanted to make it only 5, but there are so many books on my shelf that I feel like are going to be 5 stars that I put in a 6th, and I could even do a second video. So once I've read all of these, I'll do another 5-star predictions video. And I'm trying to decide where to start. I guess I'll start with this one. One of my favorite authors is Bill Bryson. This is one of the only books written by him that I have yet to read. It's called One Summer, America, 1927. Basically, it's exactly what the title suggests. It talks about the summer of 1927 in which a lot of really spectacular events happened in the United States. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things that happened in the summer of 1927 that made it into a book-worthy topic. Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic. Babe Ruth was closing in on the home run record. The gangster Al Capone was tightening his grip on bootlegging. The Jazz Singer was filmed, forever changing the motion picture industry because I think it was the first talking picture. All this and a lot more happened in 1927, and Bill Bryson sort of theorizes that this is when America really came into its own. He goes down the most interesting rabbit trails. Everything that he talks about I find fascinating and riveting. I love his writing. His use of language is incredible. I just think Bill Bryson can pretty much do no wrong. I'm so excited to read this book. And as is the theme of all these books, it's been on my shelf for a really long time and I haven't read it yet. Another book that I have heard nothing but really, really wonderful things about is a book called The Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. The Kitchen House follows a little Irish orphan who finds herself after crossing over from Ireland on the doorsteps of a plantation. She is then taken in by this family and is entrusted to the care of the slave owner's illegitimate slave daughter, and ends up working in the kitchen house with her, and they form a relationship. That's pretty much all I know. But like I said, this book has a huge fan following. I've never heard it talked about on Booktube, but outside of Booktube, I've heard it talked about a lot. Anne Bogle from The Modern Mrs. Darcy talks about the kitchen house quite a bit, and she even had Kathleen Grissom on her podcast as a guest one time. I wanted to read this book long before I heard her talk, but after I heard her talk on the podcast, it just made me want to pick up the book even more. This is one of the first books I hauled on my channel. I have had it for a really long time. Oh, Wilder, you just spit up a little bit, honey. He's just sitting over there like a little lump smiling at me. Anyway, really want to read this book. I have a feeling I'm going to love it. Last summer, Kate Howe and I were talking, and she read Mary Stewart's 9 Coaches Waiting, and she told me that she thought I would love it, and I really, really think that I will. I have a feeling I will love every Mary Stewart book that I put my hands on, or at least most of them. I really think it'll be a 5-star read. This is a gothic romance along the same veins as books like Jane Eyre and Rebecca, that kind of gothic romantic feel. That's mostly what Mary Stewart writes, although I'm pretty sure she also has a really famous fantasy series. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. This is about a young woman named Linda who ends up in a French chateau, and this chateau holds many dark secrets. So it sounds very atmospheric, very set. I love books that you can just really sink into the atmosphere of the environment and the surroundings and get to know a wonderful character. I cannot wait to read this book. I don't know what's taken me so long. I have a little bit of a theme here too, because a lot of the books that I wanted to pull off my shelf were historical mysteries, and so the next two books that I'm going to mention are along those lines. The first is The Alienist by Caleb Carr. This is about a psychologist, also called an alienist, who is attempting to help Theodore Roosevelt, who is the police commissioner at the time, find and capture a serial killer who is running rampant in New York City. I have also heard really wonderful things about this. This seems like it's totally right up my alley. I have really been loving my mystery, and I have always loved historical fiction, so it's combining two of my current loves in literature. I just have a feeling this is going to become tops on my historical fiction favorites. Another historical fiction mystery series that I've been so excited to get into and know I'm going to love is a series by C.J. Sansom. This book is the third book in the series. I didn't realize that when I got it, so I have now ordered the first two because I can't just have the third book, and as you all know, reining in my book purchases this year has been awfully hard. This book takes place during the 16th century, during the Tudor era. I think the first book involves King Henry VIII. I'm not sure how much this book involves King Henry VIII. This is about, not a detective, a lawyer, who is defending a young girl who is accused of brutally murdering her brother. No, her young cousin. This is a very well-loved historical mystery series, and I'm just dying to get to it. Like I said, I don't know why it's taken me so long. These are all books you guys have seen in my book hauls if you pay attention to my book hauls, and I haven't read them because I'm a dum-dum. The last book, another book I have just been dying to read, I don't know why I haven't read it yet, is Jane Steele by Lindsay Fay. This is not a Jane Eyre retelling. However, it is inspired by the story of Jane Eyre, and so it has a lot of those elements of Jane Eyre that have become very famous and that we love. It sort of turns Jane Eyre a little bit on its head. Jane Steele, who is inspired by the character of Jane Eyre, both personally and, you know, meta, like we know that she's inspired by the character of Jane Eyre, and she also, as a character, is inspired by the character of Jane Eyre, if that makes any sense. Anyway, she is an assassin, whereas Jane Eyre was a governess. I don't really know much more than that, but I'm kind of happy to go into this blindly. I know I'm gonna love it. And this cover is stunning. I adore the cover of this book. It's one of my favorite covers that I own. I love to take it off the shelf and just gaze longingly at it. Did you want to say something? This is Fox. We haven't seen Fox in a while. Fox, you need to sit down. Look, you can't see. Can you smile? Show them your teeth. Fox lost his tooth this week in an accident, didn't you? Tell them how it happened.
I heard it too.
He hurt it, and we went to the dentist and they had to take it out. Didn't they? Yeah. Mommy's very sad about it. But you're okay, aren't you?
I love having tooth out.
You love having a tooth out? Good! Good. You're super cute, both ways. Should I bring Wilder over here now, too? Alright, you go sit on the couch. And here's Wilder, looking cute as per usual. Aren't you? So cute. Thank you all for sticking around while I figure out how to get myself back on track, back on the Booktube track, back on the reading track. I know that you guys have just been so patient with me, and it's just been one of those summers that I've just been struggling a little bit, haven't I? Being the mom of two has finally caught up to me a little bit, I think, and it's just been more of a challenge to get in the things that I want to get into. Although it could just be laziness too. Who knows? I will talk to you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Bye! Got Wilder between my legs standing up here. It's a little precarious.